Authority.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
No, it's not funny. It's a memorandum of understanding. And if I don't like it, we'll go back to shooting at them, dropping bombs on their head. If I don't like it, if they don't behave, we'll go right back to dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head.
I opened the show yesterday with that soundbite, and since a lot of things have happened yesterday when I was on the air, I read the 14-point memorandum of understanding, and I was underwhelmed by it. I was kind of actually ticked off about it because I wasn't really hearing what I needed to hear. It didn't have the teeth that I wanted. It didn't have the teeth that I wanted, and I thought about it, and I saw a variety of opinions. One that I very much respect is General Blaine Holt. And he said, chill out. This is just the first step. Then I heard others who've said this is a major bend over and take it, from the IRCG. I've been on the texting with Brigitte Gabriel and Matthew Faraci all morning. They're not too happy about it. Matthew's, he is just really mad about it. He sent me a bunch of stuff. And we're gonna get on all this. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm on the fence to some degree, but there's a couple of factors here that make me want to side with the president on this. One of them is he hasn't misled us before. He has fulfilled the promises we've asked him to do, despite 97% negative coverage and an avalanche of violence and weaponization against him every bloody day. And so I generally kind of lean into his judgment on most things because he has been doing such a great job as the president. He has gotten 7 peace deals around the world, including avoiding a possible nuclear conflict between India and Pakistan. He has brought peace to the Middle East. Gaza is now quiet. And so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Also, the other factor that makes me lean into the president is that so many Democrats are saying this is a terrible agreement and Donald Trump is completely taking it up the yin-yang, which some people enjoy, who used to work at CNN. That said, they're all saying it's a terrible deal. So when you got Hakeem Jeffries and you got Adam Schiff and you've got all Chris Murphy and all of them who have been tearing down our military since day one, saying that Operation Epic Fury was a failure and that we had it lost. And when you see them today saying that this is the worst deal ever, it makes me go, do I want to be on that side? Do I want to be on that side? Because they don't want Donald Trump to succeed. They don't care if that means the Iranian people are enslaved. They don't care about loss of life. They've never mentioned the Iranian regime killing 40,000 protesters. They don't care. All they see in this is they want Donald Trump to lose. They want Donald Trump to lose everything. They want him to lose the midterms. And it makes me kind of wonder, if this is such a terrible deal, why aren't they just quiet about it? Why aren't they just saying, you don't know, man, I don't know, or if they really think it sucks, why aren't they saying, I think it's a great deal. I think that's a great deal. You go with that, Mr. President, and then sit back and rub your hands and go, oh, yeah, he really screwed the pooch. He's toast. Do you understand where I'm coming from on this? Do you understand where I'm coming from on this? There's a lot of balls in the air. Again, something ex-CNN anchors really like, but there are a lot of balls in the air. Donald Trump came into office Last time he was in office, he killed Soleimani. He made some overtures there, came into office here, got the Gulf states in line, got $7 trillion of investments from places like Qatar. And then, of course, had the Abraham Accords going on, second iteration of the Abraham Accords coming up. And so he's using money. He's using prosperity. He's using the opposite of what the IRCG and the mullahs are offering, which is death. Okay. And there are a lot of players in the world that have a lot of money at stake here. And they're not about to let it go up in flames by allowing Iran to become the monster that it was before we absolutely destroyed their military industrial complex and their economy. So that said, this is a first step. That's what I'm going to say. It's a first step. Here is the President of the United States yesterday, who's being heralded by world leaders at the G7, by the way, everybody from a position of strength that America hasn't seen. He's owning the world like a boss. You know why? Because he's taken over the economy of the world. He's taken over the flow of fossil fuels around the world. He's made the United States into an energy powerhouse. He has effectively gutted and controlled, like a little dog, bad dog, Venezuela. Same goes with now Iran. So there's a lot of things going on beyond just this. And I don't think Donald Trump is just going to allow the mullahs and the ayatollahs and the IRCG to have their way with the United States. He doesn't make deals like that. All right. So, you know, there's, I said my piece on it. I've got much more to say about it. Here's the president.
You've been saying all week that this deal permanently prevents Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Can you explain how exactly the deal achieves that goal?
So when I say permanently, it should be permanently. But if it's not permanently, we will bomb them. Now, that's with me as president. If you have a weak, pathetic president, maybe that doesn't happen, but I can only do the job that I have to do. I let him know. I said, look, if you don't adhere to the agreement, I don't want to do that, but we're going to bomb the hell out of you. And I don't think that they're going to veer from the agreement. What else am I going to do? Am I going to say I'm going to take you to court? Let me take you to court. Let me sue you.
Yeah, send the pallets of cash, see what that got you. Here he is talking about the possibility of $300 billion to rebuild Iran. Now, we caused approximately, pardon me, $1 to $2 trillion worth of damage to Iran, to its military infrastructure, which will take decades to rebuild. So that much damage has been caused. $300 billion is being invested by Arab states who have pledged money to the United States, by the way, and are more concerned about effectively a Marshall Plan to get Iran back on the good foot of the world economy. Okay, so there are some fail-safe measures in order to prevent the IRCG from confiscating the money, etc. I understand your consternation and concern about the possibility of Iran being able to sell oil, get $300 billion. I get it. I totally get it. And I need assurances too. But again, and it's not about being a butt kisser for Donald Trump. It's just, look what he's gone through to get here. Look what he has done thus far. I don't think that suddenly he would be completely wrong about everything. So again, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. When there is a doubt, there are several parties involved. If there is one you tend to believe more, you give them the benefit of the doubt. If you disagree with them, then you give them the opposite. I'm giving people like Cory Booker and Chris Murphy and Adam Schiff the opposite of the benefit of the doubt, and I'm giving the president the benefit of the doubt.
We're not putting up money. Only if they're doing things right. If they're doing things right, if people want to invest, they can invest. But they had this $300 million.
It's investing money. That's money that's being invested, meaning that the investors expect a return. not a return of the Ayatollah, a return on their money.
Fund. It's only $300 billion fund. It's only if they're doing things right. Remember this also, when you talk about billions of dollars, they've had much more than $1 trillion worth of damage done. They got a long way. There'll be 15 to 20 years to rebuild what they have right now. So they have to behave themselves. If they're not behaving, they get hit again.
And again, here are the people who I do not give the benefit of the doubt to.
We don't know what's in the MOU. And it's only a page and a half. The JCPOA was, 150 pages.
Tweets longer than that.
Oh, okay. Well, the JCPOS was 150 pages. So certainly you'd want to have as many pages as that piece of crap.
Grocery shopping list for Thanksgiving is longer than that.
The fact that they're not showing us the deal, the text of the deal, I think tells you everything about what's in it.
We're supposed to trust this out of this memorandum of understanding. It honestly sounds like a surrender document. That's what it sounds like.
Okay, that's utterly ridiculous. You don't surrender when you've completely gutted their military. And the Democrat Party has even denied that. They have denied the information coming from our military, our Defense Department, in favor of the Iranians. So again, who are you going to give the benefit of the doubt to? Much more on this coming up. We've got Michael Charbon on the show. We've got my friend Matthew Faraci, who literally lives in Israel most of the time. Brigitte Gabriel as well. Great perspectives on all of this. If you'd like to chime in, 800-922-6680. This is The Rob Carson Show.
which guy is Yehoshua?
The issue where here we go. Here we go.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
This is JD Vance on Newsmax 2 just a few minutes ago. Good doggy. That's kind of a big deal for Israel because, you see, one bomb would wipe out Israel. It would take seconds for it to arrive there on top of a missile, but we destroyed their missile program. And if they don't, we'll stick a missile up there. Yeah. No pallets of cash delivered on planes. My only issue is, are we leaving seeds of the IRCG to fester and grow? And I don't trust the B words. I want them all dead. I want them all dead. Blaine Holt says that there are some things happening with regard to the Iranian military, not the IRCG, with regard to the Kurds that could usher out the IRCG and usher in freedom for the people of Iran. That's what I'm hoping for. That's my dream. You know that. I've been saying that since day one. Here is Blaine Holt last night on Rob Schmidt's show.
So we all need to, this is the hold your breath phase, just like you're intoning. An MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, it's just the point of embarkation. Look, here's the contours of what's eventually going to be a permanent plan. But along this path, things like the tolling, things that would equate to a bloodthirsty, Armageddon-bound bunch of psychopaths staying in power, those are going to be addressed. And no, they're not going to get a $300 billion blank check to do whatever they want. President Trump fully understands these issues, and he fully understands he's not going to leave his legacy to this. But what I find amazing is that the rock chuckers on both sides of the aisle and in the media are ready to go with just a scintilla of information of what's going to end up being an extremely complex set of maneuvers to get to the end game.
So you real quick, back to you, Blaine. You don't think that we're going to, let them fund terror and do a lot of this ridiculous behavior that we've seen from this regime, because it's not in this memorandum.
No, it's not, but we'll get there. All it says is we're going to keep talking for 60 days, and you're going to let trade go through. That's all this thing does. We're in the middle of a sausage factory that is diplomatic military sausage, and we're only touring the middle of the line.
We're watching the sausage being made. It's not a sausage factory, if Don Lemon is listening. That's completely different, Don. Completely different. This is a guy who was on last night. He's based out of D.C., Khosrow Isfani. an expert on Middle Eastern affairs. He has the opposite to say with regard to the memorandum of understanding.
Unfortunately, I don't share that optimism about what will come out of this deal because I look at the Islamic Republic and the language that they are using. They are already preparing for the next round of this conflict. They are vowing to expand their support for their terror proxies across the Middle East. As the general said, we are dealing with a bunch of Armageddon-bound psychopaths. The ideology of this system has not been changed.
Gotcha.
It will never be changed as long as
That's my concern with regard to leaving any seat of the IRCG.
they are taking breath. The only solution, the only good deal that you can have with this crowd is on the price of the body bag that you are going to put them in. The United States, with its military might, could have opened the Strait of Hormuz in a blink of an eye. The United States has the largest, leading, most powerful and lethal military force on the face of the earth. And a bunch of mullahs in Iran were able to take the world economy hostage and make the United States president make a deal with Iran, make any concessions. The only deal, acceptable deal with this regime would be absolute, total, humiliating surrender. This regime is not humiliated.
Blaine?
They are celebrating a win against the United States. They are celebrating that they have duped the U.S. president. It doesn't matter that the United States has not been duped in reality. As long as this regime perceives itself in a position of power, sees itself in a position that it can dictate terms to the United States, we are losing something.
Again, this is a framework, 14 points, and the sausage is being made over the next 60 days. All of the things that we are maybe concerned about, I am hoping will be hammered out and made public as we go through this process. A little bit more from Blaine Holt, by the way.
Yeah, the job's not over. This is not over. This is the start of an MOU. Mojtaba, I'm sorry. Ayatollah Mojtaba without legs is not in a position. If he wants to declare that this is a victory, well, it's a Pyrrhic victory. The point is that I understand the consternation.
Oh, yes.
But you have to also understand that the president is not going to repeat Iraq and Afghanistan with 130,000 forces on the ground in a 20-year war. That's not, and it's not militarily necessary either. So Scott Bessent is drying up all the money. Great. The money laundering out of London's not happening anymore.
No, that's true. That's
Europe's in a real bad position.
That is true, yeah.
And they're basically going to be succumbing to the Iranian people themselves. And President Trump did say the Iranian people are the ones who have to finish this.
There you go. So, like I said, yesterday when I read the memorandum of understanding, for what it's worth, okay, I'm a talk show host. I'm an entertainer with a well-informed opinion who's right most of the time. That said, I understand why you're concerned, but I also know that I've been a part of this army for a decade, and I've seen what this president has been through, and I've seen what he's done. And I'm not about to abandon him and think that he's abandoned all of his principles and common sense to do the exact opposite and do everything that the IRCG and the Ayatollah wants. So there you go. And we will all figure out who's right and who's wrong sometime in the very near future. But my track record's pretty darn good. Anyway, coming up from Canada, because it is around 12:30 Eastern Standard Time on a Thursday, and we have Michael Charbon on the show at that time. Well, he's going to be next. How's that sound? Stick around.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
TDS. James Covell has TDS. Will I land in a psych ward? That is anybody's guess. It's for sure I'm insane. I really can't explain why for Donald Trump I have so much disdain. I'm as crazy as a loon. I'm gonna crack up soon. It's expanding like a big balloon. It's gotten even worse. It's gonna be my curse. TDS, TDS, TDS. TDS, TDS. Is it derangement? I say yes. Whenever Trump is mentioned, I become a giant mess. He causes me such pain, pain I can't contain. Of my existence, he has been a bane, like Ellen and Rosie. In our brain, he lives rent-free, driven me as crazy as can be. It's something I can't shake. How much more can I take? TDS, TDS, TDS.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we were meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, might be time to declare your independence from pain. I take Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I'm able to crush it at the gym and ride 30 miles on a mountain bike on Saturday mornings. Relief Factor. It's 100% drug-free, research-based formula designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. It's not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from inside out at the source. Relief Factor was created so people could get back to living life on their terms, walking, working, exercising, enjoying the moments that matter. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. To commemorate, they're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. Yeah, your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. ReliefFactor.com or 800-4-RELIEF. The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount+. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount+.
Now back to the Rob Carson Show, presented by Paramount+.
3 count.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, beauty, go.
Take off to the great white north. Take off. It's a beauty way to go. Take off to the great white north.
You know, it is a, pardon me. It is a great honor, I should say, to have a theme song on this radio program. I have a lot of balls in the air. You'll have to excuse me. I run my own audio, but I do believe that we have Michael Charbon on the live stream and on air with us. Michael Charbon, how are you on this glorious Thursday?
I'm wonderful, thank you. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you.
I'm in a black box. I feel like I've been in a black box all my life. But, you know, it's a pleasure to be with you and your nationally syndicated radio folks and as well streaming on Newsmax. How are you? Nice to see you.
You too, brother. We were trying to, I'm just going to be honest with the audience here. We are in the throes. For some odd reason, we're having difficulty getting our guests on video for this show. I don't know why it is. Everybody else is no big deal. Benny Johnson, hey, you can do it then from his shower, and he'd have so many. Well, we have a little bit of trouble doing this, and it's kind of been a pain in the rear end, but we're going to get there. Most importantly, I do have at least the voice of Michael Charbon on the phone right now. Let me ask you, Michael Charbon, what are your thoughts on this memorandum of understanding with Iran?
Well, I think unfortunately, I don't think we can trust Iran. I think because there is a gated amount of money that will come back, I think that's the one savior of this. The Straits of Hormuz should be open and always be open. So that should not change. I think everybody wants to see the war end, but I don't know if you can trust them.
Well, no, of course. That's without a doubt. And listen, Michael, I looked at this yesterday and I went, I'm not seeing the teeth that I need. I wanted 14 points of Iran, you are now our B word and you're going to do what we ask you to do. That's what I wanted, Michael. But this was the beginning. And I was hearing, Blaine Holt talking about this, that we have 60 days to hammer out the details. I know what we all want. I was reading a piece that Matthew Faraci sent me today. And it's a terrific piece, very, very concerning piece. I read it and highlighted them. Hold on a second. Those pages, of course, are stuck together like a 14-year-old's Playboy. It's by, hold on again here on the air. Anyway, it's a terrific piece, and it echoes all of these. Israel Hayom. It's noon in Israel is the name of the piece. And it says here, it's worse than we thought. The Iran deal is worse than we thought. And I think that's a little premature, but I understand the major concern. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so we are concerned. I mean, the thing is, the world oil stopped. We have lots of problems, and we know that Iran is speculative as far as signing a deal and staying with it. I think it's unfortunate that America didn't go in and just finish it. And the problem is that if there's enough left there, it will reconstitute. It's like an infection. If you don't cut it out or totally eliminate it, it's going to come back.
Well, like I said, I'm willing, if you're going to give someone the benefit of the doubt, would you give the benefit of the doubt to Iran and the Democrat Party who say, at least the Democrat Party is saying this is a terrible deal, awful, 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 Cory Booker, it's terrible, awful, when you know that they just want Donald Trump to fail, okay? Or are you going to give the benefit of the doubt to the president of the United States who closed the southern border immediately, has negotiated 7 peace deals, has brought $18 trillion of investment into America? I could go on and on and on. So at this point in the embryonic stages of this, Democrats would abort it like that. I'm going to go ahead and give the benefit of the doubt to the president and then see how it goes from here. I don't know. That's just me. Michael. Anyway, Michael, are you still there? Appears that Michael is not there. All right. So we will try to get him back on. I'm presuming, Brian, that we've lost Michael for a moment there. Brian, can you talk to me in my ear, please? I'd love to know if you have nothing to do with it. You have nothing to do with it. Okay, Michael says yes. Okay, we're gonna get him on the phone. See, isn't this the way it is? Isn't this? This is like when your dog does the most amazing tricks. You know what it is? You ever remember the Bugs Bunny cartoons when the singing frog? And that guy had that marvelous singing frog, and he rented the theater and free beer and brought everybody in, and the singing frog dances for him, and then they open up the stage and everybody's there in the audience, and the frog just sits there and goes ribbit, and everybody thinks the guy's crazy. We got him. Do we have him? Okay, so that's kind of what's going on here with the show today. It's the singing frog.
You know what? You've been away so long.
I swear.
We missed you.
Well, I was off 2 days, and only one of them was personal.
What's this idea that you have a woman sleeping with you now in your bed?
I do, and her name is Desi, and she's an 11-year-old Shih Tzu.
Oh, thank God.
It's a female, not a woman. Thank you very much. Now, woman hasn't seen my bed in years.
Yeah, but we see. Oh my God! Don't say that. I mean, we follow you on social media, Carson. So
Yes,
we see
yes,
all
yes.
this stuff.
I share a lot of stuff on social media, including me dancing ridiculously at a celebration with FIFA fans. Boy, that was fun. Let's move on
Who
to.
was the lady in front of you in the brown dress?
She's not my date. She's my friend Mike's girlfriend. I'm like, I know. She looks like Sofia Vergara, didn't she? Oh my
Yes.
Lord. Woof, woof. All right. So,
Hey, Carson.
what?
Do you want me to wait to come back from the break after this?
No, I'm fine. We'll continue talking. Let's talk a little bit about Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and Doug Ford working together. There's the possibility he could run for president of the United States in 2028. The Democrat Party has a problem with the Jews. I don't know if you knew that there, Michael, but tell me about what's going on here, man.
Well, so here you go. Rob Ford, the premier of Ontario, and Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania. And as you said, a 2028 Democrat presidential hopeful. They realized that the business between Pennsylvania and Ontario was really important. In 2025, they did like $20 billion worth of business. And as a result of the tariffs, they've lost $700 million. So basically what they've done, they've signed a memorandum of understanding. Electrical generation, like minerals, Great Lakes, AI and agriculture.
Really?
And it's really a good thing that Ontario and Pennsylvania is doing that, because we need to have these links. We need each other. And it's unfortunate that even in light of the G7, Carney and Prime Minister Carney and President Trump have not got together to do a deal to finish this for both of us. It's very unfortunate. And July 1st is supposedly the end of Kuzma. So,
I was reading a piece, the G7 bending itself around Trump, and a lot of people have kind of been kissing the ring of Donald Trump. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said the memorandum of understanding is a game changer and pledged Canada's support for implementation. Did you know about that?
yes, of course. What's Carney going to do? Say he doesn't believe it and be a stick in the mud? Everybody's sitting there waving the flag and we're all hoping for the best. What do you expect when you're trying to do a deal with the most influential economic powerhouse of the world and the biggest military? What do you want to do? Tick them off?
No.
You're sick of the soft eyes. It isn't going to work.
You better kiss the ring, baby. All right, we've got much more to come up without any technical glitches. Michael Charbon, the host of the Charbon Report. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
WCBM.
More with Michael Charbon, the host of the Charbon Report, in a moment. Buy some gold, put some silver in your pocket. You know, money's a little tight right now. I know it is. Trust me, been there, done that. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't be concerned about your future. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be concerned about, I don't know, retiring someday if you thought about that. I know. The dream seems like it's a million miles away. I took an old 401k from when I sold cars, and I rolled the dice, and I gave it to Birch Gold. I said, buy gold. Let's go. Let's buy gold. This is about 5 or 6 months ago. And I'm going to let it ride. You know why? Because 10 years ago, gold was $1,200. Now it's $4,500. And is this going to be all I invest in? No. Trying to buy some of that SpaceX stock. Not having a lot of luck doing that. I don't know what the hell the deal is with E-Trade. But anyway, if you want to invest in gold with Birch Gold, you also have an additional incentive. They're going to give you a 1 ounce silver round special America 250 coin. Really cool. 1 ounce, America 250 silver round. It's gorgeous. It's fantastic. It's a keepsake. You'll pass it down to your grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren, whatever. It's going to be amazing. Text Rob to 989898 to take advantage of free America 250 silver with a qualifying purchase before July 10th. It's an investment, not a purchase. Again, text Rob to the number 989898 for information without obligation. 989898. Text Rob today for Birch Gold. Michael Charbon. So let's talk a little bit about, and I heard Donald Trump when he was at the G7 saying, he was asked about Chinese EVs and Canada with regard to the number of EVs you guys are importing. Donald Trump said, we're not going to allow Chinese EVs. If we do, it's 100% tariff. Consequently, they're not doing it. What's the status of that, by the way?
That's still way up in the air. There's 49,000 Chinese EV vehicles that are going to invade Canada, and potentially over the next 3 years, 80,000 of them. One of the things that the Canadians as well as Americans have hesitance with this is the ability of these walking, talking, recording, and based in China EVs.
Yeah.
Because they could be little spy machines. And what the problem is that the United States, and I think they're putting up a barrier saying we don't want them in the U.S. Whereas Canadians, some people are putting up a bit of a noise, but not enough. And I think this is something that we really have to consider. But here was a deal that Mark Carney made because he needed to sell soybeans and he needed to sell canola oil, and did a deal with China, and that was part of what they wanted. This is not a good thing.
No, I don't think it is. It's nice to see Canada recognizing this. And the people versus Michigan Democrats are siding with the White House to ban Canadians driving Chinese SUVs. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, you know, it just goes to show how we are very much aligned in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Canadians are now going to the States more, even though it's 40%. Yes. We've seen the numbers going up. Canadians are traveling again. Canadians don't have a problem with Americans.
Yeah.
It's Canadian government who has a problem with the American government. I mean, we look at this bridge. Canada just built a bridge called the Gordie Howe Bridge.
Yes.
And we spent like $6.8 billion to put this puppy across. And unfortunately, there's been all kinds of problems delaying it. 70,000 cars, Rob, go across the Ambassador Bridge, which is the current one.
Yeah.
And like $390 million worth of trade. That's 25% of Canadian-U.S. trade. So, I mean,
what's the holdup here? What is the holdup? I mean, I've heard a lot about this. It's not a story that I've been focusing so much because there's a lot of other things going on. But what is the holdup here? What are the issues here, please?
Well, here's another line. It's called a bilateral geopolitical negotiation.
Yeah.
You talk about gobbledygook. The Canadian side has done all the testing. The American side is still doing testing, but there is some speculation that politics is playing a foot on this.
Mm-hmm.
The gentleman who owns the Ambassador Bridge was a large donator to the GOP and expressed some concern that he was going to lose a lot of business. But you see, Canada is in partnership with Michigan. I mean, this goes over the Detroit River. It connects Windsor, Ontario to Detroit. And we need to have more transportation. So this could be just a little bit of a glitch, but it was supposed to open on Friday and it's a beautiful looking bridge.
Now you,
like I said, Canada paid the freight of it.
have you been seeing some of the people coming into the U.S. for the FIFA, and they come in and they're witnessing how glorious the country is, how diverse it is, the absolute friendliness of the American people, eating biscuits and gravy, a gift from God for the very first time, etc. As you as someone from Canada, when you come to the U.S., is there something that stands out in your mind that you appreciate about the country, whether it be part of our cuisine or whether it be a part of our culture, anything like that?
If we were on a bus together and something was to happen untoward, and I looked at an American and I winked at him, he and I both know that we're both going to make a move. I've got his back. He's got my back.
Yeah, that's true.
Anytime that I have traveled, I have always had such a wonderful pleasure. And I think here is another perfect example of how the media left and many of the left in Europe has painted America in such a tarnished scenario. And here the people are coming over. The people are great. The food is great. The freedom is great. I mean, that is a testament, and I think that is something that many people will take back to Europe and say that the media is wrong, and I think that's so true. America is a beautiful place, and the people who live there are just as beautiful.
That's why I think we live in serendipitous times that Donald Trump is the president of the United States, the 250th anniversary of the world. We're seeing freedom spread around the world, and now we are seeing the seeds of freedom, people who have seen what's possible return to their countries and long for America. I've seen this with Brits, and they're just obsessed now that they're back in Great Britain. They're wishing they could be in the United States. That's important, and maybe that will bring the reforms that some countries need to become more like America rather than just.
I agree.
All of that. Michael, I appreciate you greatly for being on the show, my brother. Tell everybody where we can find your glorious work.
On my glory, michaelacharbon.com, the Charbon Report, and I'm on Newsmax on Sundays. And always on the Rob Carson Show. Rob, thanks for you, and thanks for your great list.
All right, you bet, brother. Take care of yourself. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hello. Who's talking here? I've been so bloody busy. I apologize. Oh, Otto Cannon, you're new. Otto Cannon. Cow Hampshire, you're in New Hampshire. Lovely. We've got a lot of viewers and listeners in New Hampshire with Benny Media, 4 radio stations across New Hampshire. I love New Hampshire. I really do. I think it's a great state. It's too bad there's so many Democrat morons running the damn thing. Other than that, it's a dang good state. 1965 War Eagle. Hello. Leslie Ladyhawk, hello. William Ratcliffe. What's going on, man? Good to see you there. Sam Thomas, you're new over there. Welcome to. It's the IRGC, not the IRCG. Oh, maybe I made a mistake. I apologize, Sam, about that. Sometimes I try to be correct in my verbiage. In fact, I'm usually pretty good about it. Usually very good about it. So glad Rob's spirits are good. 100%. 100%. I've got to be that way. Trust me on this. Anyway, I just got an email from somebody. Let's move over to X. Anybody watching on X? I don't see anybody on X. Here we go. I don't see anybody on the chat right now. It says the chat's not live. Why is the chat not live? Damn it. Anyway, we've got much to get to. I think I got some new satire from Jim Gossett I want to get to here. I got to think about the next break. I apologize. Sometimes I got to do that. Let's do this. All right. Jim Banks. All right. Sorry. I got to focus on the next break. Pat Carr, you already said that. Time for me to talk. Dig it. Come on. My theme song.
There is no more incredible man on this earth.
Come on. It's a remake of I'm a Man, Spencer Davis Group. A Found it on Spotify. Not sure if it's an AI creation. It's by Smooth, Smoove, but it kicks butt. Turn it up, Brian. Let me hear it. You got to hear the percussion on this song. The different kinds of percussion in this song will blow your mind. Honestly, if you've got Spotify, look up I'm a Man by Smooth. It's just great. It's just great. Here's Josh Hawley.
Number one, that the strait is going to reopen. That's going to be great for the American economy. It's going to be great for oil prices, gas prices, fertilizer prices in my state of Missouri. I like the fact that the president has gotten a ceasefire here that will now extend. I like the fact that their nuclear program, Iran's, is buried under 1,000 feet of rubble, and it's not going anywhere, Brian. I mean, the president made sure that it is buried. I believe it is buried for good. Those are all good things.
Yeah, like I said, we've got the memorandum of understanding, and again yesterday I got it, and I tell you what, bro. I mean, I have been through, and sisters, by the way, I've been through so much on this in the last 12 hours. I've taken in so much media on this the last 12 hours, and again, there's a lot of things to get through. I had mentioned this piece by Israel Hayam, which was sent to me by my friend Matthew Faraci, who's going to join us very shortly on the show. We've got Faraci at the bottom of the next hour. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. I have a great deal of respect for this gentleman. He has a home in Israel, by the way. In this piece, it says it became clear that this agreement is not a pause. The status quo held in place while negotiations ran their course. It was a rewind, actively restoring the Islamic Republic. The only question left, how fast it would run, and according to the clauses, faster than we would like. So, I don't know. And this is a very, very negative piece, very, very concerning. And I'm very concerned. You know as well as anybody, there's no greater friend of Israel than moi. I am a friend of Israel. I am a proud Zionist, if you want to call them Zionist. I don't even care. My brothers and sisters in Israel, I have always had a kinship with them because my mother taught me at a very young age to appreciate the long-suffering people of Israel and the Jewish people. So I'm very much on their side. I know what they've been through. I know the bullcrap they've gone through, and the Democrat Party is now the party of anti-Semitism. They just call it anti-Zionism. So I understand that. I understand also the concern that you and I have. We wanted Iran, the Ayatollahs, and the IRGC. I just had a text on it. Very concerned about it. I want them wiped off the face of the planet. I didn't think Donald Trump went far enough. I thought he was too patient. I understand exactly what you feel because my guts have been in knots on that as well. But I'm willing to let things happen, let it settle down, learn more about it. There you go. All right, we got to take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit ReliefFactor.com today.
out there.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America.
We have them.
Good.
And on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
There's going to be a $300 billion fund where Gulf neighbors, not us, Gulf neighbors, will invest in rebuilding Iran.
Any relief they receive under this deal, they'll have to get based on merit. And it won't be from us. We don't have to give them anything. But some people may want to invest. Like, what are you going to do? Say you can never, ever invest in a country? I mean, it's pretty tough. They need investment because we did $1.5 trillion, maybe $2 trillion worth of damage. So somebody's going to have to help them out.
This isn't free money. The deal says that we control who does business in Iran. Quote, we grant all required licenses, waivers, and permissions needed. That means if Iran screws around, they don't get any investments.
Okay.
Their country doesn't get rebuilt.
Right.
Usually after we win wars, we like to rebuild the loser, Japan, Germany, the South, after the Civil War. When neighbors do business, they usually don't go to war because war is bad for business. That's the thinking here.
All right, so that's a little bit of Jesse Waters. He was completely down with the memorandum of understanding last night. Again, yesterday I read it and I wanted more teeth. I wanted more teeth in it. Let's watch Blaine Holt last night. He's like, this is just the beginning of making the sausage, blah, blah, blah. But one person I have been speaking with, I mean, the texts have been on fire today, is my good friend Matthew Faraci, whose opinion I value greatly, particularly with regard to Israel, the founder and president of Gideon 300, Inspire Buzz Media Companies, and friend of this guy right here, Matthew Faraci. How are you on this glorious Thursday?
Rob, I am pretty pumped to have this conversation with you.
Yeah. Listen, I wanted to hear your thoughts because there are a few people whose opinion I value as much as you, not only on Israel but all things. But you sent me this piece by Israel Hayom this morning. I read it, I highlighted it. I see these massive concerns. I want to know. Tell me what's going through your mind right now. What if there's anything about this deal you like, and particularly what you don't like. Go right ahead.
Well, first of all, Rob, I want to give your listeners this as a premise. Okay, you know this, but they don't. I have been MAGA since before Trump ran in 2016. Mm-hmm. I saw Trump speak a year or two before he actually ran for president, and I said, "This is the guy." And I have been a Trump supporter all the way. Mm-hmm. I love President Trump, and I have been a fan, a supporter, whatever. Okay, and that's not going to change, by the way.
Yeah.
But I want to say that in this context for this reason, okay? If you truly love your kid, Rob, and I know you've been through this, and your kid does something wrong, or your friend does something wrong, you can either stay silent and say, oh, I just support you no matter what.
Yeah.
Or you can call them out and say, you know what? That's not a great move. You shouldn't have done that. And in this case, I think it's very important to call the administration out and say, that's not a good move. You shouldn't have done that. Now, look, I'm going to give you the most charitable view, which is that Trump is waiting for the midterms, that he had to get the economy going. He said that in his own words, by the way. Mm-hmm. He said that he was trying to avoid economic disaster, okay? But let's look at what the Iranians are saying.
Yes.
The Iranians are calling themselves a superpower. Look at the Gulf states in the Middle East. They're all basically saying America's weak, America conceded, America won the war and lost the peace. And so just look at what our enemies are saying, and you can say, okay, that's just propaganda. Fine. Then look what Israel is saying. America's number one ally, who fought side by side with America for 6 weeks during Operation Epic Fury, Operation Roaring Lion. Israel is horrified by this deal. Mm-hmm. And the reason is, we can get into the details, but I'll give you the big picture. If this deal holds, Iran emerges stronger, more dangerous, and more deadly after the war than they were before the war. And that is why it's such an unmitigated disaster.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but right now the Iranian military industrial complex is in shambles. So there would have to be a great deal of rebuilding, and you can't just do that overnight. But go ahead.
Well, how do they rebuild, Rob? Money.
Mm-hmm.
How do they rebuild? China, Russia. They can refill their military capability very quickly. Look what they did between the first time when the president struck Fordo. What was that, about a year ago now? They rebuilt so many missiles in between that time and the last war that started. That's what precipitated the attack, right? That's what started the process. And the second thing you have to remember is Iran does most of its damage through the cheapest means, which is drones. Think about this. They've held the entire world hostage. They've held the world economy hostage, not with airplanes, not with submarines, not with sophisticated weapons like we keep talking about, but with drones. They've been threatening. They've shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which was never a thing. They played it really smart. And so how else does Iran affect what they do? Terror. And now Israel has been told, without having been consulted, by the way, by the United States, oh, the war's over between Hezbollah and Israel. And in fact, the president's been criticizing Bibi. Well, that's all fine and good, Rob, but here's the problem. Hezbollah is still attacking Israel. As we speak, Hezbollah is firing rockets and drones into Israel. As we speak, this is going down right now. So the thing that concerns me, I want to just back up a little, Rob. Do you remember back during the Gulf War when we settled the Gulf War? I'm talking back in 1991, and we basically abandoned the Kurds in northern Iraq.
Oh, yes.
And Saddam Hussein started. So America's getting a reputation. Well, America already has a reputation. Don't trust the word of America because they're going to promise you something today and they're going to abandon you tomorrow.
Let me ask you this.
What people feel like in Israel.
Oh, I understand. Dude, listen, you know as well as I do, there's no bigger defender of Israel than me. You know that. I've known you for a number of years now. You know this. I would give my life for Israel, and I would give my life for the United States of America. Donald Trump is saying that this $300 billion supposedly in investment is contingent on Iran's behavior. And also, I will mention that he was able to secure trillions of dollars from other Middle Eastern countries, including Qatar, into the American economy. They are investing in the rebuilding of Iran to make them into an economic powerhouse, possibly for good. And then the United States says that with our monitoring, that they will ensure that the money goes toward investing. You clearly do not believe that's possible. And listen, I understand where you're coming from, because the IRGC, I said we can't leave seeds of those bastards in power there. So that's my biggest concern. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, Rob, I want you to think about this. I want you to imagine that you have a drug addict. And every time you give that drug addict friend money, he goes out and he buys cocaine. So you buy him a car. You say, listen, buddy, I am not going to let you spend this money on drugs. I'm buying you a car to get back to work. What's he going to do, Rob? He sells the car. He goes back to buying drugs, right? So when you say that we're going to give Iran, $300 million of quote-unquote peaceful money that we're going to monitor. Iran, that takes money, and they specialize in funneling money all around the world, by the way, to Venezuela, where they were part of the Maduro regime, where they were part of the, as we know now, the 2020 stolen election, okay? So the sleaziest sleazeballs in the world, maybe next to the Russians and the Chinese, and partners with the Russians and the Chinese, you really think we're going to give those guys $1? And you can, that's going to infrastructure. They don't care about their people. They killed 100,000 of their people just like a couple of months ago. They don't care about the suffering of their people. So what incentive do they have to give this people peaceful purposes, especially when we've given them a deal, which is 90% what they want and nothing what we want? Another thing, the president conceded yesterday. I guess they need to have ballistic missiles. I mean,
Yes, I saw that.
Countries need to have missiles, right? No, they don't. And here's my favorite one. Syria, al-Shara, would do better at fighting Hezbollah than Israel would. Let me just give you a point of fact. Al-Shara would join Hezbollah in fighting Israel. He would not fight Hezbollah. He is a former al-Qaeda terrorist. So what I'm saying is the reason you hear this passion for me, Rob, is not only for Israel, okay?
Yes, yeah.
I'm worried about the United States of America.
Yes, sir.
If you accept the fact that we went to war to prevent Iran from threatening the United States and our allies, then how does giving them more money and all these concessions protect Americans? It doesn't.
Yeah, let me
And
ask you
that's
this.
the fundamental problem here. And look,
Again, this is a
yeah,
fourth.
I
This
love the president.
yes. Oh, I know, bro. I know. Listen, I'm so grateful for this conversation because again, I'm on the fence on this. I'm giving the president the benefit of the doubt because of what he's done and what he's gone through for us, and he hasn't let us down before. But you got 60 days to make things happen. Are you hopeful that maybe a powerful message from Israel, from concerned friends of Israel, from people like you and me will get through as they hammer out the details on this?
I think look, here's the tragedy of it all, Rob. It's almost not even worth having this conversation because it's all going to fall apart. Iran is not going to stick to the deal. They're going to cheat.
Yeah.
And the problem is we're going to give them money and help them cheat. We're giving them time to help them cheat. And my sacred prayer, because look, I trust Trump, and I've been telling people that, shut up and trust the president.
Yeah.
He's exercised good judgment. But let me remind you something. He's not God.
No.
He said the other day, I saved Israel. If it wasn't for me, Israel would be wiped off the map. That is factually untrue. God saved Israel. And to the degree that Donald Trump had something to do with that, he was God's instrument. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So my point is, if we love President Trump, if we care about President Trump, if we want to see him succeed, if we want God to have America's back, then people of conviction need to say, Mr. President, we love you. We honor you.
Yes.
We thank you for what you've done for this country. And we ask you to rethink this decision because we think you're making a big mistake. And you're setting a precedent that Israel and our Gulf allies in the Middle East cannot count on America, and that basically America will bomb you. But if you wait them out and you make Americans pay $2 more in gas at the pump, then guess what? You can beat the United States. That's exactly what
I understand exactly what you're saying, but I'm going to say one other thing before we end the conversation because we're running out of time. The Democrats are also saying this is a terrible deal. When you got Cory Booker saying this is a terrible deal, I don't like being on his side because he has nothing. He wants nothing good to happen to Donald Trump. He has not cared about the Iranian people. He has not cared about the American people. And now he's saying this is a bad deal. It makes me kind of wonder if it's going to turn around the economy. It's going to actually, the safeguards in place are going to work. And that's why the Democrats, I don't even know. But listen, I appreciate you.
Bob, you know who likes the deal? This makes you sick. Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Well, brother, I appreciate you being on. I want to start having you on like every week because you're great. You know that I'm a friend of Israel. You know that I'm a friend of Donald Trump. Rob,
and I thank you. I want to say thank you to you for this.
Yeah.
You are somebody that believes in having open, honest conversation.
Yeah.
And you're intellectually honest. I want to thank you for the opportunity to do that. And I want to just please encourage your listeners, pray for President Trump. I love President Trump. He's a hero to me. And I'm just praying that God will show him that that there's a better way to do this.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you. God bless you. Have a glorious rest of your weekend. Okay, bud? All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
680 WCBM and 99.9 FM in Harford County.
Gonna rejoin.
We have to beat them electorally, and then we have to break their spirit. And then we're going to crush their soul.
Oh, really? What army?
This was years in the making. You know why? Because I was the one that killed General Soleimani. And if I didn't kill General Soleimani, we probably wouldn't be talking right now about this deal, because he was a mad genius. A lot of people forget that. The tough guys, the tough guys that would drive the country right down the tubes. If I don't like it, we'll go back to shooting at them, dropping bombs on their head. If I don't like it, if they don't behave, we'll go right back to dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head.
I understand the great concern that many have with regard to this memorandum of understanding. 100%. I totally get it. I wanted Trump to go in there and just waylay the IRGC. I wanted every one of them dead. Absolutely 100%. There have been many times in the last decade, people have panicked, freaked out because of something that Donald Trump did, and immediately said, oh my God, he's wrong. Oh my God, he's wrong. And every time they were wrong. So I'm going to let what happens here. And we will see. I also would encourage you to make your opinions known to this administration in a positive fashion. These are your concerns. These are the things that must happen. I don't believe they're tone deaf. I know they have put a great deal of time and thought into this. I think they've been more deliberate than any administration. You've had 11 weeks without dropping bombs until last weekend. And an overabundance of patience with regard to the IRGC. So I'm not ready to say Donald Trump is really destroying things. Or Donald Trump, he's like I said, there's been a plan going since he killed Soleimani, since he went to Qatar, since he got the trillions of dollars in investments in the American economy, since he opened, since the Panama Canal, we took over the Panama Canal. We have control of trade routes around the world. We are rebuilding and redirecting the world's economy, particularly with regard to fossil fuels, making America fossil fuel independent. Like I said, I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. There's a little bit more from Jesse Waters last night with regard to this deal.
Also, Iran has to keep their dog on a leash. Hezbollah has to stand down. If they attack Israel, Israel can hit back and hit back hard.
All right.
But Israel, they have to behave too.
We have a little dispute over Lebanon. I say you can do a little softer touch, Bibi. You don't have to knock down a building every time somebody walks into it that's from Hezbollah.
A senior official tells Primetime that Netanyahu thinks the deal's a home run if Iran complies.
Well,
but he's skeptical. Here's the bottom line. They'll never have a nuclear weapon. Okay. The Strait's open. The Ayatollah's dead. Their military's whipped. And we did it in 3 months with no ground troops. And Mohammed's not getting a penny until he performs. And none of these pennies are even ours. And as a bonus, the United States is now the world's biggest energy exporter. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we rewired the Middle East so they make love, not war.
All right, we'll see. I mean, that's optimistic thinking, obviously, That's optimistic thinking. But, like I said, I'm gonna give this president the benefit of the doubt because of what he's done for the country, what he's endured for the country, among other things. And of course, he always gets terrible, terrible coverage. Here's the president yesterday talking about the media constantly being lined up against him.
What if I would go, by the way, if I'd go another 3 or 4 weeks, those same people that are critical would say he went too long, he should have done, no matter what. If they raised the white flag of surrender, and if they said, praise be to Allah, Donald Trump is the greatest president ever. We totally concede, we totally give up. This war is over. We have failed. The New York Times and CNN and a couple of others, they're not all that dishonest. They'd say Iran had a great victory, okay? They practically do that. You know, it's amazing. When we knocked out their last ship, they had 159 ships. When we knocked out the last ship, the Times refused to do a story on it.
Yeah, that's true.
They said, why wouldn't you? They don't have a Navy, and you don't want to do a story on it. They don't have an Air Force. You don't want to do a story. We need a fair press.
Yeah, we don't have a fair press. Here is the President of the United States talking about his support despite 94% negative coverage.
When I win in a landslide and I had 93% bad press,
okay, 93.
they take good stories about me and make them bad. But the only reason that happened is because they have so little, the media has so little credibility that the people voted for me. 93% of the stories on network, ABC is horrible. I think ABC is the worst. NBC is terrible. And CBS is terrible. CNN, obviously. And I never get good stories, no matter what I do. I could do the greatest thing. I won't get good stories on this.
You know, and this is another thing, and this is why I'm in a conundrum here, is that the media, MS Now, CNN, Democrat politicians all say this is a bad deal. When have they ever been right on anything? When have they ever tried to protect this president? So there's that. Another fantastic guest on the show, Brigitte Gabriel, Act for America, next.
Finding great candidates to hire.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
I make the Democrats look incredibly dumb. Inflation is down, the economy's starting to hum. Still, it's a real good bet, the best is yet to come. Best is yet to come since we bombed Iran. Taking out all their nukes, that was part of the plan. The border's secure once again. Illegals are getting in. Doge has saved us billions. This is what it's like to win. Best is yet to come, and it's gonna be fine. Best is yet to come. Hear the Democrats whine. Listen to them whine. The last laugh is mine.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words weren't written for history books. They were written for you. But it's hard to pursue happiness when pain is a part of your everyday life. Relief Factor was created to help people address inflammation, one of the most common causes of ongoing aches and pains from aging, overexertion, and daily living. It's a 100% drug-free, research-based formula that works through multiple metabolic pathways to support comfort and mobility. No prescription, no masking symptoms, just real relief so you can keep moving forward. I work out every other day. I crush it at the gym, and I ride my bike 100 miles on the weekend. I credit Relief Factor for making all of those activities pain-free. And as America celebrates 250 years of independence, give yourself a chance to reclaim yours. To commemorate, they're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. Yeah. So you can pursue your happiness being pain-free. Your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's ReliefFactor.com or 800-4-RELIEF.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
Now back to the Rob Carson Show, presented by Paramount Plus.
Yeah, the job's not over. This is not over.
Yeah.
This is the start of an MOU. Mojtaba, I'm sorry. Ayatollah Mojtaba without legs is not in a position. If he wants to declare that this is a victory, well, it's a Pyrrhic victory. The point is that I understand the consternation, but you have to also understand that the president is not going to repeat Iraq and Afghanistan with 130,000 forces on the ground in a 20-year war. That's not, and it's not militarily necessary either. So Scott Bessent is drying up all the money. Great. The money laundering out of London's not happening anymore. Europe's in a real bad position. And they're basically going to be succumbing to the Iranian people themselves. And President Trump did say the Iranian people are the ones who have to finish this.
All right, so that is Blaine Holt, Brigadier General, who is a frequent guest on this radio program. Last night he was talking to Rob Schmidt. A little while ago we had the wonderful Matthew Faraci on, founder and president of Gideon 300, Inspire Buzz Media Companies. I could think of no other guest who would better this stellar lineup today than the awesome and incredible Brigitte Gabriel. Of course, she is with actforamerica.org. Brigitte Gabriel, welcome to the show. I've been dying to talk to you about this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Rob. Yeah,
right.
well.
I know we got a lot of concerns. We got a lot of concern. I get it. Tell me your thoughts on it. I'm going to let you go.
Well, I'm not happy with the deal, and I wasn't happy even with the first ceasefire because when you are bombing and you are succeeding and you are on a roll, you don't push pause. You continue until you're finished. And I think pushing pause the first time 2 months ago, 60 days ago, was a big mistake because even through the ceasefire, the Iranians kept bombing, kept causing problems. We were bombing them last week, Rob.
Yes.
The whole reason why they came and they said, okay, let's sign, we agree, we want to sign a memo of understanding is because Thursday night, President Trump told them, last Thursday, if you thought the last 2 nights were bad, wait until you see what we're going to do to you tonight. We're taking Karg Island. And supposedly, that's when they reached out directly to the White House and said, let's talk. And that's how this whole memo of understanding began. Now, you and I know we cannot trust the Iranians. They lied through their teeth.
Yes.
They are buying time. They will do anything and everything they can, even if they supposedly agree to a memorandum of understanding. For them, in the eyes of their people, they are victorious. They are celebrating victory. They're saying to their people, look, the Israel and the United States bombed us for the last so many months, and they have not been able to make us budge. They can kill every single one of us, of the leadership, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers down, and we're going to continue fighting, and we are succeeding. And finally, they caved, and we claim victory. For the Iranians, this is victory. On the world stage, it is victory for the Iranians. For us, the president's trying to tie a beautiful bow on it and present it to the American public as, look, this is not a deal. It's a pause so we can discuss the term of a deal. Yeah, fine. It just looks bad on the world stage, and we just gave the Iranians a breather.
I understand what you mean, and I've been saying this all morning with regard to giving someone the benefit of the doubt. I look at what Donald Trump has done, what he has been through, the fact that he has not misled us before, the fact that his instincts have been correct through all of this, and that's where I am concerned, because so many people have tried to make us doubt him. So many people have told us he's doing the wrong thing, knowing he was doing the right thing, to distract us or to bring down our opinion of him and to stop him. That's why when I look at all of the things that are going on with regard to the Abraham Accords, with regard to other Arab states, with regard to their trillions of investment in America, and the fact that we have caused between $1 trillion and $2 trillion worth of damage, and you've got Arab states saying we want to use $300 to invest in Iran, assuming they will want a return on this. That's where I'm kind of going. I'm not, I mean, there are a lot of things that need to be hammered out. I need some teeth in this final agreement. The IRGC has to be out of power. There has to be some freedom there, and they've got to stop the terror proxies and all this crap. That hasn't happened yet. I get it, but you kind of wonder if maybe the enemies of Donald Trump are trying to poo-poo this agreement before it's even finished.
Oh, well, look, it doesn't take the enemies of Donald Trump. I have been one of the biggest supporters of the president, and I poo-poo this agreement. As a Lebanese, as somebody who was born and raised in Lebanon, and as somebody who worked in Israel, as somebody who comes from the Middle East, as somebody who understands the terrorist infrastructure of Hezbollah, I am telling you, this is such a terrible step that President Trump took. And President Trump agreed to let the Iranians keep control of the Straits of Hormuz. Billions of dollars will be given to them. And he is saying it's not our money. I get it. I don't care whose money it is, whether it drops from the sky. What do you think the Iranians are going to do with an influx of $300 billion? The schools for girls, educate girls. They are going to take that money and rebuild their terrorist infrastructure, funding Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. And by the way, Hezbollah is not in that agreement. In other words, on top of that, we are letting Iran demand and include the protection of their terrorist groups in Lebanon, a sovereign and independent state that doesn't want the terrorist regime operating within it, and not just Lebanon, but demands that Israel, a nation under attack from these same terrorists, cannot respond when attacked by these same terrorists to defend itself. Who do we think we are? Again, I've been one of the president's biggest defenders on this one. But I can tell you, I spoke yesterday with Lebanon as well as with Israel. And for the first time, the Lebanese government, the Lebanese and the Israelis are together as one against this deal, against this agreement. And forget Israel. I mean, this is not for the benefit of Israel.
Yes.
This is like writing an agreement with Hitler without defeating Hitler, but saying, okay, we bombed Germany out of the yin-yang, and now we're going to sign a memo of understanding with them. And even though Hitler is still in power, but, we think the Iranians may change their ways, and we're only going to give them money if they change their ways.
Let me ask you.
Unless you get rid of the regime, nothing's going to change.
Why do you suppose that the president went this way when he's been such a powerful supporter of Israel and he's done so many good things? Why do you? I mean, if this deal is as bad as you say, I mean, whose advice is he taking? Do you suppose?
He's taking the advice of Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, Steve Witkoff, his lifelong friend, and J.D. Vance, who doesn't really have that much experience on the world stage. He's a brilliant guy, but he's young. He's taking their advice against John Ratcliffe from the CIA. We intercepted conversations within the regime on Monday that they are discussing that they're not going to abide by this deal, that they're buying time. John Ratcliffe took the information to President Trump on Monday, as well as Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, as well as Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War. The three of them do not like this deal. I mean, you saw Rubio yesterday standing next to the president while Steve Witkoff is smiling, and whoever's standing next to him, and the president is smiling, and you couldn't get a smile out of Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
They know it is not good. Now, having said all that and did all that poo-pooing of the deal, I can tell you this. The president realized that after all this bombardment of the Iranians, that we are dealing with an ideologically apocalyptic regime that is willing to burn the country instead of surrendering.
Now, Brigitte, I want to continue the conversation on the other side of the break. And I want you to think about this. How do we send I think we are already sending a powerful signal to the President of the United States with regard to this deal. It is a memorandum of understanding. The final deal hasn't been hammered out. But how do we get through to the president to get what we absolutely must see happen, that we must see happen? We'll get to that on the other side of the break. Let's take a break in the meantime. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Well, first of all, we believe international waterways.
All right, so that is J.D. Vance this morning doing a presser, trying to allay some of the fears that have come up with regard to the memorandum of understanding, which, of course, I read yesterday, and I went, oh, boy. Brigitte Gabriel went, oh, boy. Because Brigitte, you and I are the same. We are on the same page. We have talked before about how this is a moment in history that we can change the world, and if it's not, I mean, a lot of things got to happen, but the one thing's got to happen is the every ounce of radicalism in the country of Iran has to be wiped out, and freedom must return there. Because if you leave one seed, it will blossom into darkness again. Your thoughts?
Exactly. It's like uprooting cancer. When you have the body on the operating table and you are doing surgery to get cancer out, you get it all out. You don't say, oh, you know what, we ran out of time. Let's just close it up. There's a little bit left. It's not really that big of a deal. It's not going to be as bad as it was. Let's see, what's going to happen with this one. Is it going to live or die? We don't think it's going to be dangerous. And sew the body up and let the body out.
Yeah.
Of course, the cancer is going to metastasize.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to grow. Because if you leave a particle of it there, it's going to mushroom. And that's what we did with Iran. We did not finish the job. Now, I don't doubt for 1 second that if the Iranians do not misbehave in any misstep, that President Trump will go back and he will bomb the daylight out of them. He already told them that. I believe him. One of his play cards is he is unpredictable. Everybody in the world knows this. The president did this deal because he wanted to stabilize the world market, fully knowing that if this fight continued for the next 2 months, it's going to cause a global a problem on the world stage, a literal economic collapse. And he could not let that happen, not under his watch, because then our problem leading up to the midterm would be nothing now compared to how they would be 2 months from now if we had a world economic collapse. And that's why he did this deal. He basically was buying time to replenish our petroleum reserve, because you can only pump from our reserve so much into our oil to just kind of keep the market stabilized within the United States. So he needed to do that. And that gives them 60 days. That leads us up to September. Now, the Iranians may be banking on, Trump is not going to do anything in September because it's going to be only 2 months before the November election. Well, they're gambling wrong, because if they do not follow through on what they will agree on in this memo of understanding, he will bomb the daylight out of them, and he will do it leading up to the election. And it will not harm the country that much, because then he had proved to the American public that I did everything I can to try to reach peace. We went above and beyond, time after time after time after time, and they just forced our hand to go back and bomb them. So it will not have that much of an impact if we go back to war with Iran right before the election that it would have if we just continue fighting for the next 2 months.
Well,
I do understand logically why he did it.
I see headlines today, for instance. There's an Iranian singer, Parastu Ahmadi, and she made the mistake of doing a video showing her shoulders, and she has been sentenced to 74 lashes. And this crap has to end. This crap has to end. This country, this Iran, we've waited 47 damned years for the people of Iran to breathe free. And I do not want to see the women of Iran, another generation of women in Iran, suffer through this again. And I am sick and damn tired of Iran being a cancer on the world, spreading its tentacles of terror around the world. And I got to tell you, some stuff's got to happen in the next 60 days that show to me we're going to take the bastards out. Your final thoughts on this?
This deal is a huge disappointment and betrayal to the Iranian people that took to the street by the millions, because President Trump told them the help is coming. And so they took him at his word. They came out, and as a result, 40 to 50,000 of them died. Every single home in Iran has been affected and lost someone, either immediately or extended family, because President Trump told them help is on the way. So I can tell you this. The people of Iran will not trust America again. The people of Israel don't trust America. The people of Lebanon don't trust America. You cannot betray your allies. You have to. If you tell them I'm going to stand by you, you have to stand by them. And I hope that before he leaves office, at least in 2 years, that this regime in Iran will be gone and
Yes,
done.
yes,
and
yes.
we'll be dealing with a new administration.
Yeah, that's what we need to see. That's what we need to see. We're going to at 100%. I do believe there are some things going on behind the scenes we don't know about. I'm praying that God will guide the hand of Donald Trump and the Iranian people will be free. Brigitte, so good to have you on today. Thank you so much for being on the show and finding the time for us. actforamerica.org. Give us a quick plug, real quick.
We need people to go to actforamerica.org, join us, stand with us as we fight to preserve and protect the United States of America, our culture, and our security and freedom.
All right, thank you, Brigitte. Have a glorious weekend. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Wow. Yeah, we're going to have to see some teeth in the next 60 days. We're going to have to see some teeth and some guarantees. Anyway, this is more than has been done in 47 years, but we got to finish the job. Yeah, you got to finish the job, right? And again, I'm giving the president the benefit of the doubt because he's been right on so much, and he's been through so much. So here we go. We can't, it's hard because so many people have been willing to throw Donald Trump under the bus. We've seen MTG, we've seen Mike Pence, we've seen all of these people throw him under the bus. Caterwall screech whenever they didn't, see what they wanted. And then they were proven wrong. So I would say be patient. I would say be patient and pray. Why not? Why not pray? Why the hell not pray? Okay, who's watching? Tom K. What's up, Valentina? How are you? Hi, good to see you. What's going on? Yeah, Carrie says, I'm not liking the deal either. I know, but it's not a done deal. So we'll see, guys. Free Persia. Scarecrow, 100%. I want to see Iran free. I want to see the people of Iran free. I want to see the women of Iran live free without this Islamist bull crap. Bull crap. I'm so done with these sons of bees. I want them taken off the face of the planet, every damn one of them. We're going to get into what we got next here. I want to talk a little bit about, this. Let's do, what are we going to do next? Apologize for a second. I've got to talk here. Hold on. Here we go. Right back. Here we go.
That's what you can't hear.
There you go. Wow, this first 2 hours of the show has been like, whoa, what the heck? And it's all been about the memorandum of understanding with Iran, and I completely get your concerns because this is an opportunity. This is 47 years we've waited for this moment, and we cannot let down the people of Iran. We cannot let down the people of Israel. We cannot let the dream of a free Iran disappear into the dustbin of history. You have to take this opportunity. You have to take this opportunity. America has in so many times left people hanging, left them hanging on the top of an embassy in Saigon, left them hanging in so many different times, and we cannot leave them hanging now. We cannot leave the people of Iran hanging now. They have waited 47 years for this moment. All of my adult life, I've waited for this moment, dreamed of this moment where we could once again see Iran be free. And then I see headlines today like this Iranian singer who made the mistake of baring her shoulders, and she faces 47 lashes from these animals, these Islamist animals. We have to wipe radical Islam off the face of the planet. We have to get rid of the scourge of radical Islam around the planet. That's it. That's all. That's it. It can't rise here. We've got to get it now. And I'm hoping that the President of the United States, and I'm sure he knows our concerns. I know he knows all of these things. He's not a clueless man. He surrounds himself with excellent people. But he's going to have to know in the next 60 days We have to have some things. We have to see freedom ring in Iran. We have to end the scourge of radical Islam. We have to make sure that the Strait of Hormuz is open forever. We have to make sure they never can reconstitute their military in such a fashion, particularly their nuclear programs. We have to have these things. We are on the cusp of what could be a millennial peace in the Middle East, and we cannot allow this moment to pass without making sure that it's done. And I have to have faith in this man who is in the White House, who has been through so much and has faced so many negatives. I still believe we're in a battle of good and evil in this world. I still believe we have evil back on its heels. And every day we have doubt, you have to rally. You have to pick yourself up and you have to say, we must, as Rush Limbaugh used to say, be joyful warriors. We must overwhelm the left with faith and joy and patriotism. We have to do it. We are battle-hardened veterans. We are not weary. We have just begun to fight. Let's take a break and come back. Last hour of the Rob Carson Show is right ahead. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
Now,
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
One, have a little bit of faith in the President of the United States. The idea that
There you go. That is the Vice President of the United States. I'm not talking anymore about this. We got plenty of stuff. We got plenty of stuff to get through otherwise, but I think we've covered this very well, and I think we needed to cover it very well today. So welcome to the third hour of the Rob Carson Show. Not only are on radio stations around the country, we are streaming live. You can see my fantastic face right here on all Newsmax social media. And of course, after the show, download the podcast, all the usual podcast platforms. It's growing, man. We were number 10 in the country for political commentary just a couple weeks ago, number 42 for news, and overall out of 4.8 million podcasts. You're thinking, top 100,000? No. Top 50,000? No. Top 10,000? No. 500? No. Number 250. Number 250 out of all of them. Yes, I know we have a way to go, but it's big and it's resonating. You know why? Because we have a little bit of fun here too. We do have a little bit of fun, and we tell the truth and all that stuff. I do want to mention a couple of things. The alleged ringleader of the UFC terrorist plot. You know, they were going to do the UFC. They were going to murder a bunch of people at the UFC event on the White House grounds this last Saturday night. Illegal alien from Mexico. Yeah. Arrested Abraham Hermosillo Alvarez, a Mexican illegal alien in Omaha, Nebraska, June 14th, for his alleged involvement in the plot to carry out a mass casualty attack against government officials and their attendees at the White House big UFC fight. B2 visitor failed to depart before it expired December 2001. The Obama administration granted him deferred action for childhood arrivals, DACA, in 2014. So there you go. That's good to know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Supreme Court sides with Texas man who challenged a law barring drug users from having guns. This is about, I guess, marijuana. About Mary Jane. If you smoke the Mary Jane, you should be able to get a weapon. Unanimous decision. U.S. versus Hamani. The justices found that Ali Hamani's persecution, whatever you want to call it, for having a firearm while he was an unlawful drug user is inconsistent with the Second Amendment. Hamani allegedly was only an occasional user of marijuana when the FBI found a handgun at his Texas home in 2022. The ruling from the Supreme Court is narrow since the justices did not strike down the law at the center of the case in its entirety. Instead, the High Court said the government cannot automatically disarm a person who uses marijuana a few times a week. I wouldn't be so worried about somebody with marijuana with a gun. I'm afraid they'd forget it somewhere. That's the thing. It's like, where's my gun, dude? I don't know. Let's go to Taco Bell. We'll order some Uber Eats. What? Where's my gun, by the way? I don't even know where my gun is. Hey, here's an idea. Let's go to Taco Bell. I'll order Uber Eats. Say, has anybody seen my, you get the point. I wasn't impersonating Joe Biden. I was not. It was very close, but no. Marijuana usage and Joe Biden's brain, very similar. Very similar. Some of the, very similar. This really ticks me off, by the way, because the same kind of thing's going on here, except for it's raping our treasury in the United States. Illegals coming here, many of them radical Islamists, not wanting to assimilate the culture and causing all sorts of mayhem. Report claims that grooming gangs operated in 149 areas across Great Britain. 250,000 women raped and trafficked by radical Islamists, mostly Pakistanis. And the liberal government there overlooked it, covered it up. in all of these municipalities, all of this. Can you imagine the suffering? Can you imagine the suffering? Every one of these B words needs to be deported back to Pakistan, never to be allowed again. My God, here's Rob Finnerty with the report last night on Newsmax.
A 219-page report was released yesterday in the United Kingdom by a member of Parliament, laying out in detail the evil, just the pure evil of predominantly Muslim men from Pakistan.
No, it was Muslim men. This is part of their deal. This is part of their domination, okay? This is Islamists. That's it.
And grooming, trafficking, torturing, and raping at least 250,000 white women.
Did you hear that? Believe all women. Hashtag Me Too. Do you know the left and Islam are the most abusive of women? The left in this country allow men to become women and compete in their sports, destroy their lives, say nothing at all about that at all. And Islam abuses women by subjugating them, and in this case, sexually abusing them and raping them.
In the United Kingdom over the course of several years.
Huge bombshell news today. The Rape Gang Inquiry report has just been published in full. It lays bare the astonishing scale of the rape, abuse and torture of potentially hundreds of thousands of young white girls at the evil hands of predominantly Pakistani.
Oh, yeah, white girls. Well, you know, who cares, right? I mean, they probably have privilege and stuff.
Muslim men and men from other Muslim countries.
And nobody here is talking about it. That report was from this morning in what could be the biggest scandal involving sexual abuse and rape in history.
Other than the 300,000 children that were trafficked across our southern border, and at least that many women who were trafficked across our southern border during Joe Biden's presidency, trafficked for sex and labor. And 300,000 kids disappeared.
Muslim men raping young white British women for decades, facilitated, ignored, and covered up by politicians, by police, by caregivers, even the prime minister who was in France tonight. For one reason, these people do not want to be perceived as racist, which is utterly insane.
And here is Rob Finnerty, of course, doing a brilliant job. His show is wonderful, by the way. You're not going to see anything like this on the other networks. On Fox, you're not going to see this kind of truth coming from Fox. Same goes with Rob Schmidt. That's why Newsmax is different. They have the nuts to say these things, to tell you the truth. Here's more from Rob Finnerty making the connection that I made immediately upon hearing this.
The report claims Labour-dominated councils and MPs were briefed on the gangs long ago, yet later denied any knowledge. It says the party prioritised electoral reliance on Muslim voting blocs and then blocked or watered down inquiries, suppressed ethnicity data.
Well, allowed the borders to be flooded, brought in a bunch of illegals who they loaded up with largesse, ignored their sins, ignored their crimes because they didn't want to lose their votes. Sound familiar?
And framed legitimate concerns as far-right agitation.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So leftist politicians in the United Kingdom ignored reports and then blamed it on the far right instead. Now, where have I heard about that before? Oh. That's right. Right here in the United States, in Minnesota, with that man right there, Tim Walz, the governor. He blamed right-wing conspiracy theorists, the president, and YouTubers for what's turned out to be a multi-billion-dollar fraud fiasco in Minneapolis.
We have an illness in our society with regard to rape, sex trafficking. I mean, it is massive, grotesque, and absolutely unacceptable. I would suggest death penalty for someone who traffics someone for sex. Yeah, I would. This is Katie Hopkins. She's a brilliant commentator in Great Britain with the truth about this, by the way.
Doesn't matter if you sacrifice white girls as long as you look after Islam. And that's where we are in the UK right now. I was Daily Mail columnist. I was on Tucker, my own radio show. And I knew and I saw what was going on with these grooming gangs, rape squads, They're sophisticated, they're organized, they're controlled. They use one member of the gang to hook in young white girls, and then those young white girls are passed amongst majority Muslim Pakistani men, and they're used, sexually abused, and then they're traded like a commodity up and down the country.
How did you find out about
The left in Great Britain allowed this to happen.
Being on the
There's no doubt about it.
road amongst these communities, talking to the girls, seeing it firsthand.
So it was in plain
It was
sight
in
almost.
every single city, in every single town, and it was being covered up all of the time.
My God.
To keep your jobs, to keep your position, you were to say nothing.
Oh, that's interesting. Like the fraud in Minnesota, where if you whistle blew, Tim Woods and Keith Ellison would shut you down, would either fire you, blackball you, move you somewhere else.
Keir Starmer and Labour are dependent on the Muslim vote. Muslims don't vote by policy, they vote by religion. So you don't offend Islam. And I've been inside of mosques where they've been teaching, they use a lollipop, and you know, like a lollipop that with a plastic wrapper on.
Yeah.
So they use that as an example of what white girls are. So they use a lollipop, but without the plastic wrapper on, with all the flies on it. And they say, this is what white girls are. They're uncovered, so you can use them. This is being taught in the UK. And it's why we've got such a problem, because now we are outnumbered. Demographically, there are more births to Muslims than any other religion.
This is Anderson Cooper and Kara Swisher a couple of years ago talking about this, because Elon Musk had brought it up, and they said it was a conspiracy theory.
Been dredging up a decade-old scandal over years of child sex abuse by gangs of men in a town in the north of England. In a 2014 report, it was found that about 1,400 kids had been abused by gangs of men in the northern English town of Rotherham, beginning in 1997, lasting more than a decade. Today, Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, responded by suggesting that Musk was, quote, spreading lies and misinformation.
He's taking his show on the road. That's really what he's doing. And so he's meddling and putting out misinformation and doing all kinds of things that he's done here, and seeing
misinformation.
The same tricks work elsewhere. And they often do, actually.
Musk's toxic noise is the point. With Musk,
Yes.
toxic noise is the point.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, how do you feel now that you know you've bedded down with evil? Anderson Cooper and Kara Swisher, you should be ashamed. You should quit your job. You should resign in shame. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
joint.
Donald Trump's election. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's the Rob Carson Show.
You want to hear something funny? All you haters who hated the UFC fight on the White House grounds, 150 million people watched it. 150 million people watched. That's 25 million more than watched this year's Super Bowl on free TV. Sucks to be you, don't it? Yeah, it's resonating. People love it. People love the fact that America is back. People love the fact that we're saying no to the feminization and the wussification of the culture. It kicked butt, and I'm seeing people whining about it this morning, whining about it on Facebook, and I'm like, sucks to be you. Don't come to the party. You hate America anyway. What? Can you believe that? Unbelievable. Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me one little bit. And if it would have been on just free on television, it would have been gigantic. Even more. 25 million more than watched the Super Bowl. You are so on the wrong side of history if you are hating on this. You are so on the wrong side of history. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So they've indicted 15 members of Antifa for violently opposing enforcement of the nation's immigration laws. And they have committed acts of violence, and they're in serious doo-doo. This isn't about freedom of speech, by the way. This is yesterday, or the day before yesterday, there was an announcement of the indictment, and they played some audio from this jackweed, Kyle Wagner, who is one of the heads of Antifa in Minneapolis. And this is one of the pieces of evidence they'll use to put these B words in jail, because it's not about freedom of speech. It's about insurrection. And I want you to hear the words of this Kyle Wagner.
My name is Kyle. I'm Antifa, and there's so much rage in me that I've had to record this like 15 times trying to get the message out. They f***ed up, okay? Go watch my other videos. Doesn't matter if you're not here and you're not caught up. You missed the fucking fight. But if you are, it's time to suit up. Boots on the ground. Nicollet and f***ing 26th. My house is 4 blocks away. Anywhere between Franklin and Nicollet and 26th and Nicollet. Show up, ready to go. Okay, not talking about peaceful protests anymore. We're not talking about having polite conversations anymore. I am talking specifically to my followers. This is everything I have talked about, and this is exactly what I said was going to happen. This is exactly what I said was going to come when we didn't go and march on Whipple with guns. Sorry, but welcome to America 2026, where Second Amendment is the only thing that's going to keep you protected from literal Nazi gunmen that are killing innocent people in the street with impunity.
Yeah, but the ICE agents murdered those 2 people, one who had a gun and had committed acts of violence against ICE officers, and another woman who was driven insane after moving her poor child to Canada with her freak show wife, and disrupted their lives, and then came back here. And of course, she was haranguing and harassing ICE, and then tried to run over an agent. You get it now? And these idiots are going to go to jail for this. This is one of their orange-haired morons talking about now being, indicted and could face prison time, acting all innocent, and she isn't.
I've never been violent. I've never had trouble with the law.
See, these are children. These are the chihuahuas on the other side of the fence from the pit bull. These are the ones who bark really loudly when they have numbers around them, and they can do damage, and they can hurt journalists like Andy Ngo, and they can hurl rocks at ICE agents, or they can try to take over federal courthouses and all of this stuff. When they get caught, they whine like little B words,
The only thing I did was care about my community and my neighbors.
Not at all. Not at all. You're a radical, communist, leftist insurgent. You need to go to jail.
And I would, against the government's violence to our community.
Now, you're the one who started it.
Communities, and to try.
You let your community burn. Minneapolis is a crap hole because of you.
To mitigate and help those affected, because they've been terrorizing us.
Yeah, no, you're the one who's been doing terrorizing. Oh, and here's what they've done to Minneapolis. I used to live in Minneapolis. I lived in Minneapolis for 5 years. Did mornings at KS95, everybody. Lived in Uptown, moved to South Minneapolis, and it is a crap hole now. I would never freaking live in Minneapolis ever in a trillion years because, did I mention, it's a crap hole.
These new valuations are being
talking about all of the vacancies in downtown Minneapolis and how property owners throughout the area are having to make up for it.
Described to me as terrible. As these downtown buildings continue to drop in value, it's the homeowners that have to make up the difference in property taxes to help fund the city. Residents tell me they're getting
It's also happening in Seattle.
Down, as one council member says, it's time to tighten the belt.
Janet Linnaeus knows what it takes to keep up her home.
Oh, yeah.
Like paying the bills.
I had to take a loan out to cover this year's property tax bill.
Wow, that's Minneapolis. I am so bloody glad I got fired from KS95 and moved the hell out of Minneapolis. Jim Gossett on Antifa going to jail.
If you impede ICE, DOJ will say no dice.
Bye-bye.
In Minnesota, indictments just came down.
Consider it biting you in the butt.
Antifa creeps and all their left-wing peeps. When they're convicted, they are gonna frown. Jail for Antifa. ICE you never should threaten. Punishment you will be getting. Gonna put this to an end.
3, 2,
Jail for Antifa. The DOJ will defeat ya.
Bye.
With criminal charges they'll greet ya. You can bet they're not your friends.
Yeah, you little toddler's going to finally get the butt whooping you deserve. I'm not into corporal punishment, by the way. I think it should be reserved between two adults in the privacy of their own bedroom. Never spank my children. But these children need a spanking. These adult children, not only that, they need a boot in their rear end. How's that sound? I think it sounds pretty good. Coming up, Gavin Newsom solicited $340 million in behest payments. Yeah, let's hope he goes to jail, too. Don't go into a... Stand back, Brian.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
Tehran's leaders are crumbling. They're being taken out. Their headquarters are crumbling as the U.S. shows its clout. And that should tell them time to surrender. Call it a day before our troops blow you away. Throw in the towel while you still can, or you'll be down to your last man. more new missiles they were making, with more nukes deployed. Down the sights they have been taken, and we are overjoyed. They ought to know it's time to surrender. White flag should wave. Soon will be nothing left to save.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we were meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, might be time to declare your independence from pain. I take Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I'm able to crush it at the gym and ride 30 miles on a mountain bike on Saturday mornings. Relief Factor. It's 100% drug-free, research-based formula designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. It's not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from inside out at the source. Relief Factor was created so people could get back to living life on their terms, walking, working, exercising, enjoying the moments that matter. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. To commemorate, they're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. Yeah, your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. ReliefFactor.com or 800-4-RELIEF. The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
Now back to the Rob Carson Show, presented by Paramount Plus.
.com.
Come on, feet. Start moving. Got to get me there.
The media is very mad about the renovations Donald Trump is doing to the White House.
Sounds like you're building another wing to the White House, but we appreciate you keeping your
You can't
focus.
even imagine, TJ. It's going to happen for the next 2 years. All of the banging, the jackhammering, the dust, the confusion, the noise of all places to do construction is happening right here, the front lawn of the White House.
It's a 4-year renovation project. Estimated cost, $376 million.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was during the Obama administration. Yeah, they were pretty cool with it. They had no problem with it whatsoever. Meanwhile, a ballroom that Jackie O wanted, but you see, she didn't get it because her husband got shot in the head. It happened in Dallas, by the way. A Democrat communist did it. Yeah. They were all in. The media was all in Obama. You could do anything. My God, you could tear down anything, build anything you wanted to. Well, and then of course now they're being and whining because there's some algae. There's some algae in the new reflecting pool.
There's plenty to take pictures of in downtown Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
The Lincoln Memorial, the World War II Memorial, and then there's this. Folks snapping photos of the reflecting pool.
It's
really sludgy up this end.
Jeez.
And what's in it?
It's disgusting.
Yeah, way to go, Trump.
It's not right.
Algae.
It smells like wet dog down here.
Wow,
you know?
ridiculous.
When my dog came home from the stream, he always smelled like this, and it's gross.
The Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool reopened at
Trump
the end
sucks.
of August to great fanfare after a $34 million renovation that lasted nearly 2 years.
What?
But less than a month later, the famous pool of water
$34 million in 2 years
is full of algae. Algae are simple organisms that thrive in areas where there is heat and sunlight. You have plenty of that here.
The water may not look great, but it doesn't pose a health or safety hazard. It's really just...
Oh, that was during the Obama administration. So the reflecting pool, I went down, and I was there Saturday morning, and I saw the green algae, right? And this happens in the summer because you can't put the pool chemicals in there because it's a reflecting pool, and it's one of the rules. You can't have pool chemicals in it, right? So what they're doing is and I was right, they're aerating the water, and now the water is clear, and they're vacuuming the dead algae off the floor of the reflecting pool. So it's already returned to blue. And CNN has devoted more time to the little bit of algae that has been there after a $13 million renovation, sealing the cracks of the foundation, which caused 50,000 gallons of water to leak through every single day. And it's going to be absolutely beautiful, like the rest of the city is right now. There's that. But of course, Democrats should, honestly, DC Democrats are too stupid to vote and to rule themselves. They are too stupid to vote and rule themselves. Donald Trump comes in. I was here when I first got here. When I first got here, went down to Union Station, crap hole. Columbus Fountain and the other fountains being used as SHers by the homeless. Across the street, homeless encampment, drug addicts, garbage everywhere. DuPont Circle, shopping carts full of garbage and homeless people. Every fountain in the city was off, being used as latrines by the homeless. Donald Trump comes in, cleans it all up. All the fountains are beautiful. Crime is down dramatically. Thank you, National Guard. Thank you, Judge Jeanine Pirro. Georgetown used to be a ghost town. It was a ghost town. People were terrified. It was really interesting because the media, I remember when this happened when Donald Trump brought in the National Guard. They were being and whining. And all of the ABC, CBS, ABC, oh my God, he's going to bring in the National Guard. He's going to start murdering people and all this. And what the funny thing they found out is that all the reporters, all the beat reporters in D.C. started saying, oh yeah, I was in Georgetown and I got carjacked. Oh yeah, I've been accosted by homeless people. Everybody had a story because D.C. sucked. And the idiots in Washington, D.C., the idiot Democrats in Washington, D.C., have decided to elect Democrat Socialist Councilwoman Janice Lewis George to replace Muriel Bowser in D.C. She's going to stand up to Trump. As mayor, I'll work with anyone who makes D.C. safer, but I also stand up to Trump and anyone who targets our neighbors. Nothing. She's an idiot. Donald Trump is talking about taking away home rule from Washington, D.C. That should happen. That should absolutely happen. She held a double-digit lead when counting stopped last night. Ballot counting is expected to continue. If Lewis George can maintain a 50% lead, she will win the election outright. No runoff. And, of course, Donald Trump said he would invoke the D.C. home rule if she wins the race. He said that I wouldn't like it. Maybe we'll take back Washington, run it on a federal basis. We won't have to put up with it. We're not going to lose our businesses. Now, here's the deal. Washington, D.C. is our capital, not these morons who live in Washington, D.C., not these idiot Democrats who allowed D.C. to become a crap hole, okay? Trillions of dollars of our money has come here to not only prop up the salaries and the cost of living in places like Montgomery County, the District of Columbia, Northern Virginia, Fairfax, and Loudoun County. That's our money paying for federal jobs that make 70% more salary and benefits than the rest of us, that cause houses in where I live in this area in Fairfax County to have a median price of $700,000. That's your tax money paying for their inflated salaries. And then, of course, all of the lobbyists, all of the lawyers, etc. That's our money. This is our capital. All of those buildings, all of those granite buildings, all of those glorious marble and granite sidewalks in Washington, D.C., they don't have that where I come. They don't have them in Neola, Iowa. They don't have them in Omaha, Nebraska. They don't have them in Springfield, Missouri, Springfield, Illinois. Hell on earth. Illinois. They don't have it. Those are places I've lived. This is our capital. This is America's capital. It's not these idiots' capital. And I am just, they shouldn't even have the damn right to vote. You're being racist. No. I'm just talking about idiot Democrats in general in Washington, D.C. Because after all of the good things that are happening, if all of the decrease in crime, the massive decrease in crime, you got kids in Anacostia who could ride their bikes without being shot. You got people who can go down to the grocery store without being shot. And these idiots do something like this. This is Mark Penn. He's a pollster. He was on Fox last night talking about these idiots in D.C. who shouldn't even have the right to vote.
Well, free everything is always a kind of a chicken in every pot goes way back. The question is who pays for these chickens and who pays for the buses and who's going to stay to pay for them if you keep raising taxes. You know, there was a time when mayors were elected on the basis of how well they could run a city, bring in jobs, develop it, and take it to the next level. Now people think that running for mayor is just a bunch of promises of free stuff, and they're unfortunately buying it because we know how this turns out. Say the democratic socialists are not really Democrats. They believe in open borders. They believe basically in taking over the private property. Look, the paradox is when I ask young people, are you for socialism? They say yes. Then I say, well, do you think everybody should own their own house? And they all say yes. They have no idea what they're voting for.
Yeah, and you can do this crap in Seattle. You can do this in New York City and all that. But it ain't going to happen in the nation's capital. Not considering what has happened to make this city so great that these morons would hate Donald Trump so much that they would want to return to fountains being used as urinals, homeless encampments, crack addicts and heroin addicts wandering the street, and nobody being able to park their car without it being stolen. Honestly, you guys you're too stupid to live, for God's sake. Here is Katie Zakaria, guest on this show frequently. She's kind of works with America 250 talking about these morons.
Right. I mean, Bernie Sanders is platforming Plattner on the anti-oligarchy tour in his he's flying there in his private jet. The hypocrisy of the left. Yeah. You know, it's good for the rules for thee, but not for me, right? And that's what I live in California. That's what we live with Gavin Newsom all through COVID. But the problem with this DC race is Muriel Bowser has been very cooperative with President Trump, and they have brought down crime to significant lows, over 50%. And Judge Jeanine Pirro has acknowledged this. So to elect a candidate who is going to have animosity towards President Trump is not the best situation for the people of D.C.
Yeah, it's our city, not yours, you morons. It's America's city. It's taxpayer city around the country. That's it. And we're not going to let this happen. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
FM in Harford County.
Right. I think that further undermines Gavin Newsom's narrative that he's being singled out and victimized. Whistleblowers are a great source of information for prosecutors. We used to get whistleblower complaints all the time. Now, you don't just take them and automatically run with them. You do your diligence. You do your investigation. You talk to people. You subpoena records, which sounds like is what's happening now. And you determine whether that whistleblower is accurate and can be corroborated. So again, if you just took the names out of it, if you took the Newsom name out of it and told me that there's an investigation of someone, a prominent person for potential tax or financial fraud, and it came out of a whistleblower complaint, I would say, great, they should look into it and they should handle it. And that's the way things ordinarily are at DOJ.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom is beyond corrupt. He is beyond corrupt. I am praying, literally praying, that he goes to jail with his awful, awful wife. He has presided over $500 billion in fraud over the last decade. Everything from hospice centers. They've been shutting them down by the hundreds, like 900 of them. They're all fraudulent. The high-speed rail, which has been nothing more than a giant grift. It was originally $30 billion. It was going to be high-speed rail going from San Francisco to L.A. It's been shortened greatly. It's now $230 billion. They haven't laid a bit of track. $25 billion for the homeless industrial complex. Homelessness has just increased. They've just made people rich there. He is a slimeball piece of crap. I mean, he is a slimeball supreme. Here, this is CNN, by the way. That report, that's CNN. They're saying that this wasn't Donald Trump. Gavin Newsom can't say Donald Trump is doing this investigation and targeting him. This is a whistleblower. This is Sacramento.
The reporting from CNN and elsewhere is that this case did not originate with Donald Trump or even with DOJ leaders in Washington, D.C., did not originate with Pam Bondi when she was AG, did not originate with Todd Blanche, but rather arose organically in the Eastern District of California based on a lead from another case, which is how ordinary cases are made. The second part of it is the reporting is that the probe here is aimed at Newsom's wife and her potential tax or financial entanglements and not at Gavin Newsom itself. So I understand why someone might see the broad picture here and say, ooh, this must be another politicized case. But I think based on what we know now, it does not appear to meet that mold.
No. State records show Newsom has solicited $340 million in donations from wealthy donors and special interests, some which have received preferential treatment and millions of dollars in state contracts, while also taking pains to prop up the political activities of his wife. A review of state disclosure records shows Newsom has reported 1,325 behested payments totaling $347 million since 2011 when he was serving as lieutenant governor. This is how he and his wife are able to build an $8 million mansion. Listen, by comparison, gubernatorial predecessor Jerry Brown only solicited $35 million in behested payments from 2010 to 2018. Newsom's use of the controversial fundraising tool exploded in 2020 when he reported $226 million in behested payments, about 65% of his total since 2011. The busiest stretches came during the heart of the pandemic. Unbelievable. For those of you who don't know about this, here is Rob Schmidt talking about this crooked racket.
Behested payments are technically legal in California because of course they are, but they might not be the way Gavin Newsom is doing them. A great example of this from the Washington Free Beacon, February 2024, Newsom behested $99,000 from the Central Valley Community Foundation to his wife's California Partners Project. 9 days later, Newsom awarded a $14 million no-bid contract to the Central Valley Community Foundation.
Wow.
So you give $100,000 to my wife's BS nonprofit that we use as a slush fund, and then I'll give you this no-bid contract. Yeah, that's fine, right? I see no issue with that.
Yeah. Blue Shield gave $20 million donation in September 2020, months after Newsom awarded the insurer a $15 million no-bid contract to help distribute California vaccines. Kaiser Foundation gave $9.75 million to the COVID-19 response fund in December 2020. And by 2020, Newsom was signing off on another no-bid contract for the healthcare provider to manage Medi-Cal. Since 2020, Newsom has reported $330 million in behested payments. The giving shifted from emergency response to climate programs, workforce initiatives, immigrant services, wildfire recovery. Of course, none of these things were done. FPPC Records list roughly $4.8 million for the California Partners Project since 2020. That's his wife's nonprofit, nonsensical joke. 2025, Newsom reported $18.7 million in solicited donations, including large wildfire recovery donations from Southern California fires. The governor recently agreed to pay $31,500 ethics fine for not reporting these donations in a timely manner. Oh, I hope he goes to jail. I hope he goes to jail. Listen to how fraudulent this is. This is, if you didn't hear this yesterday, this is Rob Finnerty talking about his wife, his dingbat Barbie doll wife's nonsensical charity.
This particular nonprofit cites its mission as equal pay, women on boards, and the well-being of kids.
Yeah.
Which is...
They do nothing.
Oddly...
Like the Clinton Global Initiative.
Broad and unspecific in its goals. And that's the point. It kind of sounds like the Human Fund from Seinfeld, right?
Yes.
Costanza.
Yes.
Money for people. That's exactly the same thing. It's a slush fund for her personal life, as most BS nonprofits tend to be.
There you go. And I'm hoping that indictments come out of this, trials come out of this, convictions come out of this, and he and his Barbie doll wife lose their $8 million mansion. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson with another great deal from Birch Gold. Buy some gold, put some silver in your pocket. Buy some gold in the money right now. How am I going to buy gold? I apologize. I was just getting ready for the next break. I apologize. Who's watching here? You drink it. I got tired of fishing leftists. Most are actually bots or paid trolls, okay? So we're talking about your dog barking. Knockout CBD for your dog. Do they make those for toddlers? Just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. Let's see who else is watching over here on YouTube. Leslie Ladyhawk. Hello. Oscar T. Grouch. RIP New York City school buses. You know what? It's time for a beat down of these people who would burn school buses. They need a beat down. I mean, seriously. What the hell's wrong with you people? What the hell is wrong with you people? All right. All right. I'm just scrolling down here on Facebook to see who's watching, and it's not loading for some reason. But anyway, let's go over on YouTube, it's Facebook, X. Nobody on X. Deplorable Dinosaur, how are you? Yeah, wouldn't you love to see Gavin Newsom in jail with his awful, spoiled brat, Barbie doll, dingbat wife? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, hope you're enjoying the show. Hello, 1965 War Eagle. Good to have you here, by the way. Good to hear you. So we're going to do a Pride Month update next. How's that sound? Pride Month update coming up next. Stop it. Coming up next. Pride Month.
I'm at 310 here.
This is not an EV. And it never will be. I would consider a plug-in hybrid. We have our Pride Month update in a second. Buy some gold, put some silver in your pocket. I know you're thinking everything's expensive. How am I going to buy gold? Well, do you have an old 401k that's just lying there like Joe Biden on a lawn chair? You know, maybe you should take that and convert it into physical gold. Physical gold was like $1,200 10 years ago. It's $4,500 now. And right now, Birch Gold is going to give you a special America 250 1-ounce silver round for every $10,000 you invest in gold right now. Text Rob to 989898. That's Rob to 989898 to take advantage of Free America. $250 silver with qualifying purchase before July 10th. Again, text Rob to the number 989898 today. Pride Month update. Montgomery, Alabama Mayor Tyler Williamson on why they're not going to do patriotic crosswalks, but keep rainbow crosswalks.
I feel like the idea around the rainbow crosswalk has been hijacked. I think the appropriate way, and to me, it's a case-by-case basis. The rainbow crosswalk represents something about visibility. And that's something that's really important to the LGBTQ community.
Sure.
Because
I mean, you can't see them otherwise.
As I am a member of, we are often pushed aside, even amongst people with.
No, you're high. That's bullcrap.
In our own families. So that is a very important symbolic meaning, the visibility. The patriotic piece around celebration of the 250th anniversary. I think what would have been a more appropriate response to this would have been, let's find a great space to do a public art mural.
All right, so pride crosswalks are more important than patriotic ones in the 250th birthday of America.
June is busting out all over.
Pride Month.
It's Pride Month for all the world to see.
Fabulous.
Our pride is overflowing. With arrogance we're glowing. And the media will cover it for free.
And they do.
June is busting out all over.
It's pandering.
It's Pride Month in case you didn't know.
It's embarrassing.
You'll hear about it every minute. Prefer not to be in it. Sorry, that's the way it's gonna go.
If you're gay and an adult, it's embarrassing.
Busting out all over.
Busting.
Our tactics, they aren't very nice.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Corporations we are shaming. Names will be a naming. Pony up or you will pay the price.
There you go. That's our Pride Month update because, it's Pride Month. In case you didn't know, somebody will tell you. Or you'll cross a gay crosswalk or whatever. Anyway. That's going to do it for the show. God bless you. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump as he make America great again. Pray for peace in the Middle East. And until tomorrow, which by the grace of God is finally Friday, do not catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
Information, truth is freedom, is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.